My wife was always a bit odd, and she herself often talked about it. Nevertheless, I loved her deeply and accepted her for who she was. In the end, I made my choice when we married 5 years ago. We didn't have children. My wife couldn't get pregnant, but it never bothered me. In a way, it allowed us to live freely without worrying about an unplanned pregnancy. We both worked and enjoyed life, emphasizing pleasure, since that was the way things were. Her job required shift work, while I worked a regular 5-day week. One weekend, I planned a romantic evening for us. But fate had other plans. She announced that she had been called into work unexpectedly and apologized that she couldn't stay with me. I was disappointed but didn't argue. After she left, I settled down on the couch and watched my favorite show, though something was gnawing at me. I knew her job, and they never called people in on short notice. It made me feel uncomfortable, but I tried to brush it off. Time passed, and as I was getting ready for bed, the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone at this hour. Looking through the peephole, I saw my wife standing there, slightly tipsy and grinning from ear to ear. My suspicions were confirmed. She hadn't gone to work at all. I confronted her as soon as she walked in. She told me that after leaving the house, she had gotten a call to cancel her shift. Instead of coming home, she claimed she had spent the night at a friend's house. Her excuses sounded ridiculous. I didn't make a scene, but started paying more attention to her behavior. Later, when she went to shower, I found her panties lying on the floor. Picking them up to throw them in the wash, I noticed a few noticeable stains. It was clear that my wife had been with someone else that night. In a rage, I stormed into the bathroom and opened the curtain. I pulled her by the hair, demanding the truth, pretending I already knew everything. She didn't resist. She admitted everything. She'd been seeing someone else for a long time, trying things with him that she said I couldn't offer. But despite that, she insisted that she loved me and didn't want to leave. She wanted both her freedom and our marriage. I was stunned. I trusted her completely. After hearing her confession, I kicked her out of the house, still in her robe, throwing her clothes out the window after her. There was no way I could forgive such a betrayal. What bothered me most was her behavior. She remained eerily calm, as if none of it mattered, even as I threw her out of the house. We were married, but she acted as if our bond meant nothing. After she left, I reflected on my life and realized something important. I no longer wanted to live without children. A month passed, and as the pain began to subside, I decided it was time to move on. I would find a woman I could trust again, who would create a real family with me, a family with children that my heart longed for. In the months that followed, rumors reached me that my ex-wife had hit rock bottom. She walked out of my life, but she couldn't keep it together. The man she was dating dumped her after only a few weeks. I wasn't surprised. She had hoped for something more, but such relationships were always doomed to fail. He used her and dumped her as soon as he got bored with her. As I found out later, she went from one lover to another. Men came and went, each one less committed than the last. She became increasingly reliant on alcohol, drowning out her frustrations with each drink. At first, she tried to maintain some semblance of control, holding down a job, pretending everything was fine. But soon the lies caught up with her. She lost her job, showing up to it drunk too many times to be forgiven. With no stability and no one to support her, my ex-wife began to sink deeper and deeper into her vices. She began frequenting seedy bars, seeking out men who were only interested in one thing. At first, they used her, and in return, she got the attention she craved. But over time, even that didn't satisfy her. She had become a woman of easy virtue, trading the remnants of her dignity for brief moments of companionship, always accompanied by alcohol. Her lovers treated her badly. One of them beat her so badly that she was hospitalized, but even that didn't bring her to her senses. As soon as she was discharged, she went right back to the life that had ruined her. Another took advantage of her financial situation, leaving her in debt and stealing what little she had left. Each new lover undermined her until she was unrecognizable. I heard that she even turned to old friends, trying to win back their friendship, but her friends would turn their backs on her. Who needs someone like that? They saw what she had become. By this point, no one wanted to be around her. She had burned too many bridges. I hadn't seen her in almost 2 years when I got the news of her death. She was found in a dilapidated apartment, a bottle of cheap vodka still in her hand. The official cause of death was given as liver failure, but in reality, she had been killing herself for years. The woman I once loved, the woman I once trusted, was gone long before her heart stopped beating. When I heard this news, I felt a strange mixture of sadness and relief. Sadness for the life she had wasted, for the potential she had squandered, but also relief that I was free of her before she could destroy me. By the time my ex-wife met her tragic end, I had moved on with my life. I had met a kind and loving woman who brought light into my life. She gave me the family I had always dreamed of, and together we built a future full of hope and happiness. We had 2 beautiful children, and every day I felt more and more grateful for the second chance life had given me. I will never forget my ex-wife, nor the lessons I learned from my broken marriage. But in the end, I found peace in realizing that I had made the right choice, letting go of the past and finding a future that was truly my own for the first time.